In today's world, success is measured in many ways. Regardless of your definition of success, you need one important ingredient to achieve that goal: a plan. In the next hour, Dr. Henry Migliore, an internationally recognized author, educator, organizational specialist, and motivational speaker, will take you step by step through a systematic philosophy entitled Strategic Long-Range Planning. This concept is designed to help you achieve your success by a goal-oriented planning system. In more than 30 years of experience, Dr. Migliore has been successful in applying this management philosophy in both large corporate environments and small business enterprises, universities, churches, ministries, as well as personal family life worldwide. And now, Dr. Henry Migliore.
Now remember, we're working on the foundation for the strategic plan for your life. We're taking things a step at a time. We want to get a good, solid foundation so we know ourselves better, we understand ourselves better, we are trying to really dig deep into our spirit to say, this is the real me. Once we've discovered that real me in a few sessions, then we're going to take a look out into that fifth-year horizon and say, where can I be in 5 years? With the Lord's help, what can I become? What does the Lord want me to become? We're going to establish strategic direction in your life. Now remember, for these learning sessions to make the most, to mean the most to you, you need to have a pad of paper or a pencil. If you'd like to write in and get a copy of the strategic plan for your life outline, we'll share with you later how to get that copy. Now remember, in our first session, we asked you to think about how you describe yourself to someone else, how someone knows you would describe you. We talked about people that influence your life and what those influences are. What we're trying to do is help you get to know yourself better. Now today, again, it's part of it that I enjoy the most is because I've got hobbies and things that I like to do. But just take out your sheet of paper and list your favorite activities and hobbies. Just make a list. Just run right down a list. What are some of the things you like to do? For me, I'm going to list fishing and hunting and canoeing, the outdoors and rafting, things like that. As I list these, it helps me see what the kinds of things that I really enjoy doing. And you need to do the same thing. Just make a list of these hobbies and activities that you like to do. Now the next thing is sit back and ponder for a little bit. Let's just take the last 30 days. Begin to think and visualize in your own mind. List 3 things that made you feel good this month. Now again, what we're doing is we're building a foundation. Right now you're saying, well, what's that got to do with my strategic direction? Why list your hobbies? Well, you're going to see how each of these pieces fit together. We're really putting a puzzle together. Think about your face as being the puzzle. And we're taking little parts that seems like they don't really fit together, but we're putting each part in place. And before long, we're going to have a whole puzzle put together. And you know what we're going to see? We're going to see you, your bright, shiny, smiling face, and we're going to see you and where you can be if you'll follow the principles that we're talking about. So again, write out 3 things that made you feel good this month. Now, what do these 2 exercises mean to us? Number 1, as we've listed those things that we've enjoyed to do, that gives us a hint about a second profession. We seem to be entering a phase in America where it's just very hard to get by on your original profession, no matter what you are, lawyer, dentist, governmental worker, computer operator, whatever you do. It seems like we need just a little more to get by. And if you're always wondering, well, what else could I do to make a little extra spending money, take a look at those activities and hobbies. I have a friend right there in Oklahoma that loves to hunt, loves to fish. And as a hobby, he started carving out wood decoys. This was something that he enjoyed doing through the years. Before long, someone said, well, gosh, I'd like one of those for Christmas. The wife came in and got a decoy for him. Before long, more and more people are asking for those decoys. I was talking with him the other day. He's got so many orders coming in for Christmas that he'd almost have to quit his job to make all those decoys. And he's making a little money on the side so that his life can be a little bit better. And you know, that guy loves to make those decoys. Take a look at the things that you're doing and see if someone wouldn't like to benefit from whatever that hobby is or something you enjoy doing. In my case, I love to go to Canada fishing. I go every year. One of my dreams, and as I put my own personal plan together, one of my dreams after of course, I guess in my case I'll never really retire, but one of my dreams is to take large groups of people up to Canada fishing, to share with them the joy that I have up there. I've been 9 years in a row, and I'll just keep on going, but this is a hobby. It's a way that I can look to the future, and instead of retiring from something, I might retire to something, and who knows how that might fit together. So take a look at what you like to do and see if that can't translate into a second income. See if that can't translate itself into something that you might do after you retire. Now let's take a look at the things that made you feel good this month. And here, I'm going to be a little tough on you perhaps, but stay with me. Let's just say that you listed 3 things that related to your job and work. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I'm asking you the question, friend, today. If you listed 3 things on the job, let's just say you're a systems analyst, you work with computers, and the 3 things that really made you feel good this month is you debugged a program, or perhaps you worked out a new kind of program, some new innovation, or solved a problem that nobody else could solve. Now that's fine. You've achieved on the job. I'm sure your boss is happy with you, but think about this. I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to go right to the heart of the issue. Is there balance in your life? Now, I'm not necessarily saying something's wrong, but if you listed all 3 that were work-oriented, then I'm asking you to take a look at your family, take a look at those around you, and something should have happened that was family-oriented this last month. What I'd like to see in this area is that you might list 1 from work. I'd like to see you list 1 that maybe has something to do with your family, and maybe something that has to do with recreation. Now, one of the things we have to be careful about, many of us turn into workaholics. And I know I've got to struggle with that a lot myself. Sometimes my schedule gets so difficult, and it's so hard as I travel around the country working with people, giving seminars and doing things, that if I'm not careful, I'll wear myself down. Again, not necessarily saying that a round of golf or tennis or fishing with a friend or something like that, that it has to be on there or there's something wrong with you, but I'm just saying look at that very critically. Now, by the same token, if you've got 3 or 4 items that all list fishing and fun, then I'm going to ask you another hard question. Maybe you ought to get on the stick and put a little bit more into your life at work. So again, when you talk about the things that are making you feel good, what we're doing is looking for balance. You can judge your own list, but take a look at that list, and we always tend to continue doing the things that we like to do. Think about how you might respond to this question next month or the month after that. Now, the next thing that I'd like for you to do before our next session is sit down after the program's over and just write out a 1-paragraph description of the purpose of your life. You know, why does the Lord need you here? What are you uniquely called to? Do you know that each one of us has a purpose and mission for our life? But we need to start writing that out. We need to get a picture of what that purpose and mission statement is. Now, this is going to be a very difficult process. I challenge you to get a pen and paper out and start working on this as soon as the program's over. Write out a purpose description for your life. What field do you want to work in? What kind of commitment you're going to make to the Lord? The kind of commitment you're going to make to your family? Commitment to travel. Try to take a half a sheet of paper and see if you can describe what you think your purpose and calling is. For me, I might say, and mine could follow a general pattern like the call on my life is to help people develop. The call on my life is to help people in all walks of life manage and plan and do a better job of planning and management so they can be more productive. A call on my life is to serve the Lord with the strengths and weaknesses and the talents that He's given me. In my purpose statement, I'll talk about my relationship with my children and my family and my parents. All of these things fit into that purpose statement. Your mission statement talks about the job that you're in. I'm a dean of a very dynamic school of business at Oral Roberts University. So my mission statement needs to say, I'm a university professor and dean. In your case, you're going to be an accountant, a CPA, a lawyer. In there, you should have the word service. One reason that I like that word service is because it takes the emphasis off of ourselves. That word service means that I'm serving others. Your profession should be one that serves other people. No matter what you're doing, there's honor and dignity in the work that you're doing, and you're doing that to serve mankind. And then somewhere in there, talk about your own personal relationship with your Lord. You need to confront that issue head on. All of these things, as you write out this purpose statement, are going to give you a clearer picture to knowing who you really are. Write that word foundation right across the top of a pad of paper, whatever you've got right in front of you. Foundation. We're building a foundation for the strategic plan for your life. If you haven't had a chance to write in and get a copy of our strategic planning for your life outline, we're going to give you information on how to get that copy. Now, part of the foundation, let's think about the word the definition of the word foundation. The foundation is that support structure. That's that solid rock that we're going to build our plan on. Okay, we've got to go through a number of steps. We've got to understand ourselves much better than we do now, and that's basically what our foundational steps happen to be. What we're trying to do is analyze ourselves. Now, let's think about the things that you like to do. I'd like for you to list them, write them down right there in front of you. Just take a look at everything that you do and list 3 things that you like to do. Now, as you're listing those, what you'll notice is you're gonna be writing out things that you probably spend a lot of time at. As I list 3 things that I like to do, one of the things that I like that I might list on there is that I like to write articles and books and newspaper columns. For some reason, I just feel a great joy when I'm thinking about and pondering solutions to things, trying to inspire others and write those things out. You're doing the same thing. You're trying to say, what are those things that I like to do? Many of us are handy with our hands. Many of you have chosen a profession where you're using your hands. You might be a dentist. You might be a plumber. You might be a tradesperson. Something you like to do might have to do with carving a wood duck or building a cement wall or using your hands doing something. What this is doing is this is helping us understand ourselves better. List 3 things that you like to do. Now come back and list 3 things that you don't like to do. Again, what we're doing is we're learning to understand ourselves a whole lot better. Okay, in my case, I struggle with detail. I don't like to go shopping. I don't like to keep books straight or work with budgets. I don't like anything that's meticulous. I'm a free-flowing kind of person. Now, as you list 3 things you like to do and 3 things that you don't like to do, you're beginning to get a hint to the kind of profession that you need to be in. Now, at one time, I was responsible for the budget in a corporation that I worked in. So I understand budgeting. I put budgets together, and I've even talked about how budgets should be used in my books and writings. So at least I know how to do it, but I didn't really like to do it. So this tells me that I shouldn't go on to get a CPA, or I shouldn't try to go into an accounting business, or I shouldn't be a computer programmer, or I shouldn't work with computers. In other words, anything that's meticulous is not the kind of career path that I'm going to follow. Now, you're doing the same thing. You're trying to get some hints from what you like to do and what you don't like to do so that you can begin to see, well, here's the kind of job, the kind of situation, or what I need to be doing. Those lists are important. It's important for us to understand ourselves.